Hey everybody, this is Eric Wright. I'm at DiscoPosse on Twitter, also the host of the DiscoPosse Podcast. So you're checking this out on my YouTube channel. Thank you. If you're already listening to the podcast, thank you very much. I really appreciate all of the great feedback and the love from the audience that has come up. I've got a fantastic lineup of guests. So please do go to DiscoPossePodcast.com, and you've got links for iTunes, and you can catch us on Stitcher, also on Spotify. So thank you very much. But with that, let's tour the studio. One of the things that came up, I get asked a lot about what gear that I use and what would I suggest for people. So I actually thought no better way to do this than to walk through the current studio rig that I'm building up. And I'll give you a sense of what all this craziness is around me. This is my little wee basement studio, which sadly I actually don't do as much recording in here because there's actually other stuff that goes on here during the day. However, that every once in a while I can squeeze an evening session in like this. So check this out. The first thing I want to start off with is what's my basic audio rig for the podcast itself. It's actually rather simple. It's not inexpensive, but it's also not out of this world expensive. I've tried a lot of different gear over time, so I'm going to show you what I'm using right now in the episodes that you're seeing kind of from the day that this records and beyond. So if you check this out, this is actually the Electro-Voice RE20. So this is my mic of choice. I've actually been just aching to get a hold of this mic. Super just solid dynamics. When you're using it, you can literally, you get right up on, you can eat the mic. You don't have to worry about clipping out. It's very easy. In fact, if you're working with somebody who's new to using a microphone, this is probably one of the most fantastic ones for you. The funny thing is, kind of the lower end microphones is where a lot of people start, and in fact they end up with sound trouble because of it clips out easy. They just don't understand how to use it. Remember, kids, right? Keep a fist length. With this one, actually, you could literally get up right on the mic and it doesn't really cause a problem. So that's it. This is the Electro-Voice RE20. In fact, if you're watching this on the blog post, I'll show you there's actually links. You can grab these very same things on Amazon, which is precisely how I like to get them. Second, how do I mount this sucker? This is actually the EV, the Electro-Voice 309A mount. So this allows me to have a nice shock mount. This is a metal frame, and it's a completely rubberized edge. So it sits there and it bounces. You get no disturbances on the actual audio when you're recording. So it gives you a lot of freedom to be able to move around, and you're not going to bump into problems. Now, what's this thing attached to? This is a kind of a recent pride and joy that I've got. And so big shout out to the folks at Yellowtech. Yellowtech, this is the Yellowtech Mika. It's the M-I-K-A. There you go, if you can check that out. So this thing is, it's a beautiful pneumatic arm. I'm using it as a desktop boom. You have to actually buy a specific mount for it. So this thing actually is mounted right in my desk. I'm not gonna lift it out because I can't do it with one arm, but you get what I'm saying. Now the idea here is this beautiful pneumatic arm, complete. It actually has a built-in cable, which I have not actually configured yet. So I'm just running a kind of a sketchy XLR cable out of here. But you can actually just wire this, and actually it's fully embedded into the frame, which is very nice. And then out the back, of course, you'd put that into whatever your unit of choice is, whether it's going onto a mixer, onto a board, or in this case, I'll show you my USB audio interface in a second. So that's the RE20 XLR. I should tell you that this is an XLR mic, so you gotta power it, and that goes to the next stage, right? So we've got the Mika. I've actually got the Rode PSA-1, which I'm using in another office. Fantastic arm. Way less. I actually got this Yellowtech used on eBay, but it's gently used. It was actually at a university. They've got a bunch of them, so you can actually pick them up for a good discount. I recommend it because I'm always a fan of getting used where you can. Now the next piece is the mic. So I go through and I plug into the cloud lifter. You saw this when I did the unboxing, so check out the unboxing video if you want. Really, this is just a super easy, mild preamp booster. What this is going to do for you is gives you just a little taste of extra juice. You have actually your phantom power feeds from your mixer, from your board, from your audio interface to the cloud lifter. So it's the cloud lifter CL1. That means it's literally one in, one out. There's a CL2. I think there's even like a CL8. They've got like a big monstrous one. So this is a really nice way. Big word of advice that everybody told me, if you're using either the RE20 or another very famous and popular mic, is the Shure SM7B. That's right, it's the Rogan microphone, which most people know. In fact, actually, these are the Rogan arms, so he uses the Yellowtech as well. But you're going to want that because it's going to boost that signal just a little bit more. Allegedly, it's kind of necessary with this, or you've got to really jack up the gain on the interface. Which takes me to the next stage, the actual interface itself. So underneath my monitor here, because it's a fairly sturdy little beast, this is the Onyx. So it's actually a Mackie unit, but it's called the Onyx Producer 2.2. So it's 2x2s, 2 in, 2 out. It allows you to actually have just either XLR or TRS-80, a 1/4 inch in. And in this case, it powers off of USB, which is really, really slick. So it's got the big USB in the back. I actually have USB-C, so it plugs right into my MacBook Pro, or I've got USB-A that goes into my old school Mac Mini here. So this is beautiful. You've got your monitor off here, and it's actually got 2 1/4 inch TRS-80s on the way out. So if you want to use a monitor out, I have not yet. You notice no speakers here. That's because all of it is going through headphones at the moment. So that's it. It's the Mackie Onyx Producer 2-2. So it's a 2x2. Very simple. I've actually got a Tascam 8 channel, which I've also used, but I've got it in a different location. So this is really one, you can even just carry this around with you and take it. It's portable because it powers off USB, which is kind of nice, versus the Tascam, which actually needs an external power. So the next piece is that actually brings us to the sound. So what do I hear things through? These are my fresh new, this is the Sennheiser HD 280 Pro. I am very satisfied with these. I normally use in-ear monitors. I use a Shure SE450s are my in-ear monitor of choice. I've been using them for stage gigs for years. So I've always enjoyed them, and just even for running and other things. But what I have found is that I just wanted something that's got a little bit more dynamic range, and these are super good. They block out sound. They're comfortable as hell. Nice pads on the top, so they fit even a weird and oddly giant-shaped head that I've got. So the Sennheiser HD 280 Pro, again, check out the links down below. You can actually grab one yourself, and you even get a little bit of a taste to old DiscoPosse if you actually click that link and then buy some stuff off Amazon. So that's the mic rig that's actually powering it. The software behind it's actually rather easy. It is literally just nothing but good old-fashioned GarageBand. I actually record through Zoom, so my podcast is done with videos, usually because it helps to get a face-to-face when you actually talk with somebody. There's a lot of nonverbal stuff, which really helps in a conversation. And so what I'll do is I'll be recording audio in, audio coming off their side. I get the audio and video, and then just separate the tracks out. So I just take that audio, fire it into GarageBand. I've got bumpers and stingers and all the stuff that's in the editing process. I'm doing the editing process, and then the upload happens. So my back office, the king among kings, Angelo Luciani, is actually somebody who has been a fantastic help. He handles my website and does all the posting on the DiscoPossePodcast.com website. So that's the audio rig, and in fact, now I figure it's a good time. Let's go and talk about the rest of this fine room. So let's check it out. So this, you'll notice there's a few things that I've got it's a small room. I've got tiles that are actually sound dampening tiles. The classic foam, these are meant to just block out some of the bounce and echo that's going to occur. Like, you can literally use just about anything. You can just hang a drape, which is actually kind of a bonus. I actually have a green screen for doing some video stuff, which is handy. And speaking of video, you'll see there's some lights in here as well. So every once in a while, This, although I've got a great face for radio, I do show up on video stuff sometimes. So these are just portable, easy lights. I've got some that are actually ceiling mounted, and then I've got some that are on these really, really slick arms, so they're adjustable and easy to move around. You'll notice here as well, this is my craziness. I have a light box that I've created. This is just a bunch of foam board, kind of sketchy, but it does what I need it to do. So if you ever want to do unboxing and stuff, even when you see my unboxing videos, they're all done here, which is nice. So I just basically light the hell out of it, and then there's no way to avoid any good vision because it actually blasts any shadows away. This is another little toy that I enjoy. This is my, it's called the Little Prompter. So the Little Prompter, you actually just take your cell phone and you have a little app on there. You put the camera behind it. It can take a webcam or a DSLR. And then you have a little prompter app, and that prompter app will read your teleprompter stuff so it doesn't show up on camera. So that's kind of a neat little tool. Not doing much with it lately, but I'm going to introduce some other video assets that are going to be making use of this one. So I mean, in the room itself is kind of set up. We're not going to go into the full guitar rig. That's going to be in the second video. So actually, if you see the link down here, you can actually go to video 2, and you're going to see what's going on in all this guitar gear. But this is it. This is the studio. And there's a couple little toys. You're going to wonder, what's that for? Oh, well, if you know this name, you'll kind of know what this is, but this is actually a super special gift. So check out this next video and make sure you find out why I have this here. And that's it. This is the DiscoPosse Podcast rig. If you recommend, like I said, just grab the links down below. Subscribe as well. It's always helpful to make sure we get a little bit extra juice. So EV309A, EV-RE20, my Yellowtech Mica, the Onyx 2x2, which is actually a Mackie product. I think it's like $140, and the Sennheiser HD 280 Pros. That is what powers the podcast. That and this guy. So, all right, enjoy, and I hope you're enjoying the show.